We talk about the bells and whistles. We talk about the certifications. We talk about all these things that are supposed to make the product awesome and unique. And a lot of it is about us. It is. It's about us. It's kind of an ego trip. We created this amazing product, and now we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about how brilliant and genius we are because we created this thing. I need you to understand this. People don't care about that. They want to know what transformation you're going to provide them. Okay. If I go to Home Depot to buy a drill, I don't. I as a regular person, and I'm not a carpenter or anything. I just want to drill something, maybe drill a hole in my wall or fix my fence, which needs to happen. Um, I just want to be able to drill the hole. Okay. And so I'm not buying the drill for all these, bells and whistles and everything. The transformation I want is either the hole in my wall or my fence fixed. And the drill is the mechanism that I'm going to use to do that. You have to talk about the transformation you're going to provide. Okay. When somebody's trying to sell a vacation to you, they do not sell the airplane ride over there because a lot of times the airplane trip sucks. They're selling you the beach. They're selling you Vegas. They're selling you Greece. They're selling you the getaway. They're selling you the difference between your mundane life and the life that you want to live. Sell the transformation. What transformation is your product or service going to provide? How is it going to make their lives easier? What does their life look like after they've made the purchase decision? Okay. I want y'all to steal this, and I want y'all to steal this right now. Write it down, whatever. Write it down. All right. Clear, simple messaging. I will help blank get blank without blank. All right. So I will help my who get the transformation without experiencing the pain point. That's as dead simple as I can make it, y'all. It's as dead simple as I can make it. Um, if you incorporate that framework in a lot of your offers, you're going to be so clear, and your audience is going to be so clear on what you're offering that they are you're going to remove a lot of the objections that somebody normally would have, because a lot of times the objections aren't necessarily about your product. It's them kind of stalling for time. They're stalling in their brain, right? They're stalling. They're looking for a reason to not purchase it. And the more ambiguity that you leave them with, the more space it is for them to come up with that objection and stall you out. Okay? So, clear, simple messaging. I help the who get this transformation without this pain point. Okay? So, let's see. Let me come up with a quick one. So, if I'm selling some kind of the big thing is the big thing you see a lot of this in is like body transformation, body recomposition stuff. People that are it's not just fat loss, it's people that want to build muscle and sculpt their bodies. Okay. So you could say, I help former athletes get their high school bodies back without what point what are we looking at? What pain point does it without fancy diets and without crash diets? Because that's what a lot of people do. They do crash diets without the gimmicks. Okay. I help former I help former high school athletes get their high school bodies back without the gimmicks and without the fancy diets. That's simple, straightforward. You're talking to a very specific demographic, very specific segment of people. Okay. Now, you got to pick one primary platform to start out with. Now, I get it. I'm on multiple platforms. You're seeing me stream on 3 platforms as it is. It's taken me time to cultivate 3 audiences. And one of the audiences is still brand new. Okay? So it's it's still new process for me, but you have to pick. I would pick the platform that you're primarily on and that you know the best. Okay. And so what does that mean? When I say one primary platform, and there's going to be some caveats to this, so just buckle in. Where does your audience hang out? Do you have an Instagram audience? Do you have a Facebook audience? YouTube, LinkedIn, um, email? Where do they hang out? Where do you find the people that would buy your product congregating? And a lot of times you're going to have to put in a little bit of footwork on this because that can be determined by somebody's age. That can even be determined by the kind of offer that you're pitching. So you need to figure out where they hang out. Um, on Facebook and LinkedIn, what groups are they in? What groups do they frequent? Be in those groups. um, YouTube, the comment section. Okay. The people that are in those comment sections of the videos that are interesting to you or adjacent to your product or service, that's where they're hanging out. You have to figure out where your audience is in order to engage them. Okay. Do not try to be everywhere. Master one, get proficient in one platform, and then you expand as you add proficiency. Um, I can probably tell you that I will never be on Snapchat because it just doesn't make sense to me. I played around with it. I've dabbled with Snapchat. It doesn't make a lot of logical sense to me. And so I probably will never be on Snapchat. Okay. I don't need to be because I don't have an audience there. And nor do I want one because I don't know how to engage them correctly without losing them. Okay. So don't try to be everywhere. Just master one. Okay. Consistency. Okay. This is what I got to tell y'all about how the social media algorithm game. Okay. When you post something on Facebook, even if you have your own business page and you have a lot of followers on your business page, Facebook really does limit who sees your content. And it's a bunch of factors that nobody really knows. There are known to Facebook, and that's about it. The best we have is guesses. But when you post something, we assume that your entire audience sees it, and you're maybe talking, if you're lucky, maybe 3 or 4% of your audience sees it, no matter how big that audience is. And so if you have something that you're trying to get out there, you have to be consistent in posting it. Come up with a cadence for it. Once a day, twice a day, once a week, something along those lines. Find a cadence that works for you and stick with it. Because the thing that educates these algorithms is your consistency and showing up and having a consistent message, because then they determine what audience needs to see your stuff. Because here's the thing, the social media platforms are incentivized to keep you on platform. And when I say that, that means they are incentivized to show the people who log on content that they want to see. And if people want to see the thing that you're talking about, then social media will push it to them. Now, we can get into paid ads and all the other stuff. That is really outside the scope of this video, and I can do a follow-up video about paid ads. Just leave a like if that's what you want. If you want a paid ad video, I can dust off a lot of my paid ad stuff because I just, matter of fact, reason why I was late because I was working on a couple of paid ad campaigns. Very powerful, but that can't be your only weapon in your toolbox. Okay. Because the thing that makes your paid ads way more effective is mastering the free stuff, the organic content that you post. Once you master that, your paid ads get a lot more punch to them. Okay. But consistency is important. Just showing up and being consistent with your messaging, and you pick a cadence. You don't have to post every day. There is no magic rule about how frequently, but once you kind of pick an interval, stay with it. You can go up, you can go down, but you got to stay consistent with where you go, where you land. All right. The types of content there are. Okay. So there's educational, there's entertaining, there's inspiring, there's the behind the scenes. There's a lot more